One of the least used skills in Skyrim is pickpocketing. Decent loot can be difficult to acquire through pickpocketing, so the challenge is, can I beat Skyrim using only pickpocket gear?
What in oblivion is that?
Sentries, what do you see?
This only applies for armor, weapons, potions, and other usable items such as food or scrolls. No magic and no shouts that do damage unless required are allowed. Gold can be used to travel between cities and to persuade NPCs, but I cannot buy items, enchant items, or smith items. Any loot besides gold awarded for the completion of a quest will be dropped, and items such as keys or quest items can be looted off of dead enemies if I could not pickpocket them. Let the challenge begin. I make my way through Helgen fighting with only my bare fists until I escape and can finally start the run by activating the Thief Stone to increase my sneaking skill quicker, which will help me get my pickpocket skill to 100 as fast as possible. I get my first weapon, an iron dagger in Riverwood, and talk to Lucan to get a quest.
I don't know what you overheard, but
I head to Bleak Falls Barrow and kill the bandits, so I can enter. I continue to kill the bandits and other enemies until I reach Arvel and the spider nest. I skip killing the spider and kill Arvel to grab the golden claw. I head further into Bleak Falls Barrow and learn my first shout, Unrelenting Force, which I will not use except to prove I'm dragonborn to the Greybeards. After leaving Bleak Falls Barrow, I head to Whiterun to talk to the Jarl and the court wizard. I talk to the wizard for a while, so I can fight the dragon and meet the Greybeards, but this was when I realized I didn't kill the Draugr Overlord who has the Dragon Stone. I need to progress the quest line. I head back with my dagger, which does 4 damage, and after traveling all the way through Bleak Falls Barrow again, I can finally kill the Draugr Overlord. Killing the Draugr Overlord took around 15 minutes and I died multiple times, but I can finally turn in the Dragon Stone to the court wizard and fight the first dragon. As I still have basically nothing, I just watch the guards fight the dragon until it is almost dead, and I finish it off with my iron dagger. I absorb the dragon's soul, which means I can unlock the shout Unrelenting Force, which I can't use in battle. As I head up the Greybeard's mountain, I see a hunter on the trail and I pickpocket iron arrows off her. Farther along the trail I see another NPC and I pickpocket her hide shield. The Greybeards teach me the shout whirlwind sprint, which I will use to avoid enemies for the rest of the playthrough. Now I can max out my sneak level and start getting more gear. To quickly max out my sneak level, I put my game on legendary mode so the Greybeards don't die and sneak behind a Greybeard while they are praying and attack them with my dagger. This raises my sneak level extremely fast and also raises my one-handed level. My character's level is also raised and my health and stamina are higher than they would normally be at this point in a typical playthrough. After reaching Sneak 100, I travel to Whiterun to pickpocket some loot. I got some items which will be used for the rest of the run, like the stamina amulet and health ring, but then I realized there is a better way to increase my pickpocketing level. I head to Rift 10 and find an NPC who is out of the way and is easy for me to pickpocket. I put the gold from my inventory in their inventory, then steal it back and repeat over and over again until my pickpocketing level is 100 and I can steal equipped armor and weapons from NPCs. I can now take armor and equipped weapons from NPCs like the guards and mercenaries. After pickpocketing loot from Rift 10, I head back to Whiterun where I get steel armor and a Skyforged steel greatsword which I will use for the entire run. The only problem is I don't have a heavy armor helmet, and some NPCs may appear to have armor and weapons, but their inventories are completely empty or you can't take their armor. I activated the warrior stone so my two-handed skill can be leveled up faster. I also get an amulet which increases my two-handed damage, and I pickpocket an iron helmet from a bandit. I head back up to the Greybeard's mountain to raise the two-handed skill to 100 as I did with the sneak and one-handed skills, but it was taking too long, so I just grinded 10 levels before giving up to retrieve the horn of Jürgen Windcaller, which was stolen, and in its place was a note telling me to head to Riverwood. I meet Delphine in Riverwood and pickpocket some health potions off of her, which I will immediately use in the next fight. We then head to a dragon burial site to kill a dragon, which was difficult because although I am a high level, my heavy armor skill and two-handed skill are at low levels. After I kill the dragon, I plan to infiltrate the Falmer embassy. I give my equipment to Malborn and head to the Falmer embassy. After causing a distraction, I head into the kitchen to retrieve my stored equipment. Moving through the embassy, I find information for Delphine and go into the dungeon to free the imprisoned servant and escape the embassy. I now go to reunite Esborn and Delphine. Esborn is in the Ratway, and after killing some wizards we escape to Riverwood where the two are reunited. We all then head to the Skyhaven Temple to learn the secrets of Alduin's Wall. After that I learn a shout from the Greybeards that are needed to meet the dragon Parthernax. He tells me I need an Elder Scroll to defeat Alduin, and Esbern gives me information to help me acquire one. I head to Winterhold College to meet Esbern's friend who tells me the location of a scholar who knows the location of an Elder Scroll. I head into a dungeon and eventually make my way through to the Dwemer ruins and solve the puzzle to collect the Elder Scroll. The Elder Scroll shows me past heroes fighting Alduin and teaches me the shout that forces dragons to land. Alduin shows up in Parthernax and I fight him together. This fight took 30 minutes because during my first try the game glitched and Alduin wouldn't fly away even though he had no health, so I had to redo it. I then had to convince the Jarl of Whiterun to allow me to trap a dragon in his castle and was told I had to make sure Whiterun was safe from the Imperials and the Stormcloaks, so I got the Greybeards to agree to hold a peace summit between the two factions that stipulates no fighting until the dragon problem has been solved. I got the Imperial leaders' approval and then I got the Stormcloaks leaders' approval. After a successful summit I was also told by Delphine to kill Parthernax, but I didn't do it because it's optional. The Jarl, some warriors from Whiterun and I prepared to trap the dragon. After I called for him to land, he almost killed me and I ran away and he eventually got caught. After speaking to the dragon I learned where Alduin's realm was and the dragon flew me to a temple that led to a portal there. After solving multiple puzzles I ran into the portal. In Sovngarde I made my way to the Hall of Valor to get the help of the three heroes that were seen in the vision of the Elder Scroll. To enter I had to fight a man who killed me once because my armor and attacks are weak, so I went on a rock and shot him with a bow until I was awarded passage. After I entered the Hall of Valor I met the three heroes. We left the building and crossed the bridge to clear the fog and start the final battle. The fight was quite easy because the heroes did most of the heavy lifting. After Alduin's defeat my favorite part of the whole game began. was returned to Tamriel and proved you can beat Skyrim with pickpocket gear only. Thank you for watching. If you have any challenge ideas for Skyrim or another game, comment them below.